welcome to my garden. It's been a while since we last updated, so we thought it was time to show you how the garden is coming along. Come on in. So as you can see, things have grown a lot since my last post. So these are my cherry tomatoes, which this year I have done a lot of pruning and cropping. In this area I've had to prune a lot because I have a lot of gourds and pumpkins that are just like overtaking, so I've just not been shy about clipping back the leaves and things, and they've been growing just fine. And then I've used a lot of twine to prop up my tomatoes this year because they were tipping over. They got so tall that they were too tall for the cages. So I see some black cherry tomatoes in here that are ripe and I can pick. I haven't had a lot of ripe cherry tomatoes, but these are looking good. These are black cherry tomatoes and they're very, very tasty.
You need to eat one.
So this is something that I'm kind of excited about this year is my watermelons, and I'm really hoping that I have enough time for them to get full size. But check these out, they are so cute. These are from seeds that I saved from a watermelon that a friend gave me last year, and I wasn't sure how they were gonna do, but they're growing a watermelon. The only thing is that watermelons usually take a longer growing season that Minnesota usually doesn't provide, but so we'll see. It's just kind of a fun thing to try to grow. One thing I decided to grow this year were jalapeno peppers and serrano peppers to get some spice for my salsa that I want to make, and I do have some growing, but I learned two things with my peppers. Is the place that I put them, I think they don't get enough sunlight during the day because the tomatoes grew up so tall that it kind of shades the sunlight for a portion of the day as the sun comes up and over this way. So I think I would try to put it in a more wide open space next year. And I also had followed the advice of a YouTuber who said when they're starting to grow, as long as they have 6 leaves or so left, to prune off the top leaves, and then they get more full, and then you are able to get more fruit. So I did that, and I think if I lived in a warmer climate that would be fine, but since I live in Minnesota and it's cooler, I think I just should have left that because I think that it delayed the growth of the fruit on the trees, the fruit on the plants. So if you look here, I do have some peppers, and the writing on my label faded, so I don't know if that's a serrano or a jalapeno, but both are spicy, so I don't think it matters that much. Okay, I have to show off my I have to show off my jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. I've got some really good ones that are good size, and this one is nice and bright orange. I'm pretty excited about those. And I've got some other smaller pumpkins that have grown in there. So it'll be a good pumpkin season for us. These are okra plants. Don't mind the chainsaw in the background. My husband's chopping down some trees. We planted 3 okra plants this year. It's kind of one of those experimental things that we did this year, and so I think if I did it again I would plant more because you only get 1 or maybe 2 okra that ripen at the same time, so you can't really can them or cook them when you only have 1 or 2. So if you look here, this is how they grow, and then this one will be ready in a day or 2. So I've learned that they flower first, and then the flower falls off and the okra grows. This is our corn for this year, and I planted a couple different sections of it, but the second section that I planted is actually bigger than the first section. So I really haven't had a ton of luck with my corn this year. It's getting a little bit late in the season, and it hasn't really tasseled or shown any signs of ears growing, so we'll see how that goes. We've got another month or so to go, and maybe it'll give us some corn. So if you've been watching and paying attention to the garden right now, you will notice that there are a lot of weeds. I've kind of let them get out of control, but things are still growing fairly decently. You don't have to show all of my weeds.
I want to.
At this point in the year though, things turn from trying to get them to grow to trying to harvest the crops and preserve them. So last night I froze 3 quarts of green beans, and tonight or tomorrow I will be shredding and freezing zucchini. And this is my tomato patch, and once these start to ripen I'll be making a lot of tomato sauce. So my weeds kind of get out of control the later the summer goes because I'm focusing more on the harvesting and preserving, which I've kind of decided that I'm not a huge fan of the preserving, but I do enjoy having that food throughout the year to eat, even through the winter. So thank you for watching, and keep checking back for more. Alright, so this is our okra plants. No, cut that one. So here is my corn crop. Well, let's wait till that thing goes by. There's like a 4-wheeler going by. Louder! Alright, so